Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Okay, let's chant a little japa now here. Let's see here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Lalita, what are you doing up so early? Well, you probably have jet lag. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jet lag. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna. Oh, my Lord Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Hare, Nityananda, 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 Nityananda. Nityananda, 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 Gora Chandra, 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 Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Gora, 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 Krishna, 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 Gora, 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 Krishna, 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 Gora, Gora. Krishna, 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 Gora, Gora, Gora. I get a little sleepy here, but let's try reading a little bit. Let's see if I got some left here. Okay, continuing on with Bhakti around the corner. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Who is that devotee? It's released to 5 files. Okay, here it is. Okay, here we go. Bhakti around the corner. Where we picking up where we left off. So Chaitanya Das, we read about him yesterday. Let's see. The friends of Chaitanya Das came to meet him. In his house, Balaram stayed there for a week and then returned to Jaijigram. The people of the village of Chakandi regarded themselves as very fortunate to have Chaitanya Das in their midst. See, that's the beauty of it. Like they had Chaitanya Das in their midst, and they could appreciate ecstatic devotees. See, they knew, they somehow knew. Hey there, Doodles. Yeah. Thank you for coming, everybody. Let's put this down. Yeah, so they could appreciate ecstatic devotees back then. Yeah, so that means they knew something about them. Therefore, they felt themselves very fortunate to have a devotee living in their village. See? Because that's conclusive. That's really true. People do not. People do not have that kind of conclusiveness now. They don't feel themselves very fortunate to have ecstatic devotees amongst themselves. See, and that's inconclusive. And then they say, well, they can counter, well, Gohar, you're a sahaja after all, See, nobody can define these things. We've given the best definitions of sahajas, really very practical. A sahaja basically is, they're falsely manifesting symptoms somehow or other, and or they're not real. And so how do you know? See, so that it's a sahaja, like Johan, because he's inconclusive. Thank you for your service there, Johan. You're right. I'm going to destroy your false ego. That's what it's all about here. It's war. Nothing personal. Oh yeah, it is actually personal. I like it. We have a personal vendetta to bring down the false ego of Johann for his benefit and the benefit of his avid followers. We're here to prove, these things. Yeah, so people are inconclusive, and that's why ignorance. Because if you have an ecstatic devotee in the midst of you, in your village, even, because of this one devotee, what was his name? Guniraj Khan, from a very low class village, I think it was. But he was a pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya and Krishna, Radha and Krishna. He actually wrote this wonderful book. I forgot the name of it, but it was a book, and Lord Chaitanya appreciated it. He liked this one verse. Yeah, it's so simple. The Lord's amazing when it's from the heart. Yeah, this one verse. He said, he quoted the verse. He says, Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, is my life and soul. And Lord Chaitanya says, yeah, that's the zone. See, that's conclusive, man. Yeah. Yeah, the Lord. And the Lord's devotees are our life and soul. This is the thing that starts with, if you have a real guru, they're your life and soul. Why wouldn't they be? They're Satchidananda. That's the life and soul of Krishna. Why wouldn't it be our life and soul? Prabhupada is my life and soul. Okay? Rupa Goswami is my life and soul. My life and my soul. Because his life and his soul is Radha and Krishna. See, so that's how it works, like that. If your life and soul is not the real Satchidananda Krishna, real Satchidananda devotees, then you have really no existence. You're just loitering in this world, wasting your time, and everybody else's. Like the Lord said. Lalita says, an ecstatic devotee feels the presence of God, feels the divine vibrations in their limbs and hearts. If we don't feel the divine vibrations, when we hear the realizations have not been backed up by Krishna, we know that we see a sahaja. Exactly. Krishna never gives himself to those who don't agree with his representative. Of course not. Yeah, that's the sahaja thing, and that's how you can know when you look at a person like that's when you mature here by hearing and hearing and hearing, getting purified, becoming the awakening of Krishna and Radha, the twins in your heart, and more ecstatic, more ecstatic, more ecstatic. Then you look over there and say, "Oh yeah, I see you're in jail there, Johan, and everybody else in your group. You're in jail, man. You're the principalities have control over you. The Putana, the Kaya, the donkey demon, especially the donkey demon. You know, the name and fame. Drinking that urine of the donkey demon. See, you can see that pretty obviously, but you got to mature a little bit first. That's why it's dangerous there. See, yeah. So devotees, they defang the demons, the snakes, who are always trying to trick and lie and deceive and cheat. How do they do that? Inconclusiveness. Yeah, by being inconclusive, by being speculative, not agreeing with the real scriptures. Remember, that's the false followers. They have a different opinion than the acharya. See, therefore they split. They fall away. And because their opinion doesn't agree with the conclusions of the revealed scriptures. See, and those who stay with the real guru, you get into the kingdom very easily. the Lord rewards you with that, with the real treasure of bhakti, pure bhakti. Yeah, like many devotees are getting here. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired, but I want to go on a little bit more though. See how I can do here. Chaitanya Das teaches Nama and Prem. Chaitanya Das remained absorbed in topics of Krishna at all times. He dedicated himself to the feet of Chaitanya Chandra and remained engaged in Sankirtan. The people of the village were astonished to observe the wonderful devotional practices of Chaitanya Das. But others criticized him, saying, "It's all meaningless because his practices, we won't get any children, and he has already lost his wealth." You see how you can tell a mundane person there? Because what they consider important is mundane. Material, children, and wealth. He will not get any material and children and wealth. You know what that's called? A lie, a deception, a trick, a maya. How is it that way? Because the truth is, you will get the real wealth, the eternal wealth that makes you exist. Otherwise, you got no existence. You can have all the material wealth in the world and all the control of people, manipulating them and tricking, but you always got to trick them, deceive them, and everything. You never see them as your brothers. You see them as adversaries or resources to be controlled. And that goes all the way up into the religion. That goes right up into the Hare Krishnas, who look at their people. They don't have any real love. You don't have any real love till prema awakens. And so they just deal with you as a resource. Let's see, what can I get from this person? Oh, money? Oh, time? Oh, energy? Yeah, yeah. And people willingly give. I know what that is. I've done it. 5 years. I gave my time, my energy, and the money I made from selling paintings over to the temple, every penny of it. And I worked 12 hours a day. I gave them everything, blood, sweat, and tears. No tears, actually, just a lot of blood and sweat. Lifeblood. Yeah. And that was my big lesson. Oh, wow, they don't really care about me because they can't care. Nobody really cares about you. Now listen to this. Nobody cares about you. They care about the me, the I, me, and mine, and yours. They care about yours. Yeah, they care about who they think you are, which is not who you are. People that are not awakened, they don't care about your soul because they don't even know what the soul is. They may misinterpret the soul as the mind or the emotional state or something other than what we really are, other than devotion, pure love of for Krishna, love for God. See, so they don't care about. That's why, is it surprising why people don't care about our preaching? Because most people are not awakened. They only care about your body, and it's always motivated. When I was in ISKCON, they cared about my body and keeping it working. And always the temple president was always trying to inspire the Sankirtan party to make more money and to be out there longer. See, because he cared about the body as a resource. He didn't care about the soul. He never told me to read. He never told me to study Prabhupada's books. No, just work, 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 work. And that service will get you, the pearly gates will open. The material mode, because he didn't care about the true identity of a devotee. And you can't until you're awakened. See? So a real spiritual master or a real devotee cares about you, who you are, your soul. See, your love for God. Now that's true caring, because you're caring about the real person. Chaitanya Das remained absorbed in topics of Krishna. The people of the village were astonished to observe the wonderful devotional practices of Chaitanya Das, but others criticized him, saying it's all meaningless. And so you see how the devotees polarize? Do you see how this is conclusive? If you're a real devotee, those who have some connection with the spirit will listen and will appreciate, and those who are atheists, it doesn't matter if they're in religion or not, you're an atheist if you don't care about Satchidananda. And a real devotee like Satchidananda is a real devotee like Chaitanya Das is Satchidananda. He demonstrated it. He chanted in ecstasy. And he was conclusive, obviously. See, this is the standard now. This is what the ISKCON and Gaudiya Smriti and Math and all these religious groups in Vaishnavism need to learn if they want to make the next step. But you got to hear from an awakened devotee who has actually love of Krishna. See, because an awakened devotee that has love of Krishna, just a second, I have something important I got to check. Okay, great. Okay. Yeah, a real devotee has, let's see, what was I? A real devotee has love of Krishna. Real devotee has love of Krishna. Sorry, I got disturbed, but I had to take that message. Um, oh God, can anybody remind me where I was? Something, the point I was making there. What were we doing? Oh, okay. Okay, let me read this here. Maybe I can catch it here. Oh yeah, others criticized him. Yeah, yeah. Yes, real devotee is concerned about the real self, soul, and your eternal life. Yeah, yeah. You see, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, that's real wealth. Here, let me take this off because it's using up too much memory. Here. Okay, let's see here. Virtual background. Okay. Sorry about the thing, but just have to do. That's why I'm here in Playa. I got to do some things here that are kind of important. Yeah, 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 yeah. So real devotees, they polarize. See, like Chaitanya Das, some people loved him who cared about the soul. They were actually truly pious, and the others who are more atheistic, they care more about the body, and they think, well, what is this Chaitanya Das doing? This ecstatic devotion. Believe it or not, most people in contemporary Vaishnavism now, which is obviously on a level of religion, they're like those persons who say, well, what are you doing, man? Where is the wealth? Where is the wealth in this chanting in ecstasy? Look at all the. Can you imagine? I've been chanting in ecstasy publicly, and many of you are chanting in ecstasy publicly here, and right on Facebook. And look, we only got maybe 13, 14 people. That's the state of Vaishnavism now. It's so downtrodden. It's so dark, actually, even after 550 years. That's why they had to, our recent acharyas had to start from the Vaidhi Bhakti platform up because it's so submerged in darkness. So our group is like Varaha with the tusks. We take the world, or worldly devotees, and we take the world and we lift it with the tusks of the truth. See, the truth lifting that up on Varaha's tusk takes a boar. Boar is, kind of a low class animal, right? Yeah, that's us. We're scumbags, man. But we lift that world up, out of the waters of devastation of ignorance, man. Ignorant teachers and gurus and spiritual masters, who don't care about any real person yet because they're not even awakened. The blind leading the blind. See? So Chaitanya Das polarizes. We polarize too. See, those polarized people go to one pole or another. Okay, you go to the real devotees, they cause a separation. Jesus said, don't think I came to promote like a worldly peace here. You notice the world does that. They're really big on, oh, let's chant for peace and all that stuff. And then Lord Jesus Christ was praying to God for division. Yes, let's polarize, man. That means proof that the spiritual potency is working. The spiritual potency is active in the person. See, it puts people it polarizes one side. It's like two poles of a magnet. One side goes, the atheists go to one side, the ones who have their own opinion and they won't let go of it. They're very attached to it, or they think they know everything about bhakti, right? They go to one side, over towards Johann and the other groups, right? And then we have that go to the other side. The other side of the pole is the truth. If you accept a bona fide spiritual master and what they say and what they preach sounds more reasonable to you, more logical to you, more clear to you, more ecstatic to you, more uplifting to you, more inspiring to you than anything else you heard, there's a good chance, no, there's absolute certainty you have found the real spiritual master. See? The real empowered Vaishnava. You know how rare that is to meet a Shukadev Goswami or a cowherd boy who liberated the wives of the Brahmins, and the others, see, the Brahmins, they went to the other side, man. Who are these cowherd boys, man? We don't believe in them. We're not going to serve them. We're not going to hang out with them. And they were Brahmins. You think those Brahmins are very dear to the Lord when they do stuff like that? Do you think Daksha was very dear to the Lord doing stuff like he did? A lot of times, the Lord will praise the Brahmins and everything, but look what they do. Look how they treat his devotees often. See, they can't recognize devotion. This is the problem. If a Brahmin can't recognize them, it's not surprising their followers can't either. Devananda Pandit was a great example of that. Devananda Pandit could not recognize who was it? Lord Chaitanya and his devotees. He just went about his own activities. He just went on teaching Bhagavatam. He had his students and everything. And right in the midst of them was the ecstatic Lord Chaitanya and ecstatic followers of Lord Chaitanya. He didn't care anything about them. And he goes on teaching. See, teaching non-existence by speculating on the Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya said, you're not qualified to teach Bhagavatam because you got no devotional ecstasy. You're not intimate with the Lord. Therefore, the Lord doesn't share with you the proper realization. I'm going to rip up your book. You're teaching uselessly. You're a blind leader and you have blind followers. So what's the point? I don't think I like you teaching. I think I'll rip up your book. Because that's what, there's no, what is the point of you preaching Bhagavatam? You're not preaching the real Bhagavatam. Anyway, so let me take the book out of your hand, He chastised him like that, just like I chastised Johann. What's the point of people listening to you, really? What are you doing? You have no real devotion. You're inconclusive, and you go against Guru and advanced devotees like Govinda and Lalita or anybody else who has ecstatic devotion because you're jealous and you can't admit it. You can't even follow Guru Tattva, and you're jealous of devotees who can. You can't even do that because you're so covered by that Maya, which puts you in a very, very neophyte position. You're just like these ISKCON Vaidhi Bhaktas, or like some people, Vaidhi, I won't say it. If you're lucky, you know what I talk about. You can laugh in private over there. Okay, let's see what else we got here. What else we got? I like this Chaitanya Das. He's great. It's meaningless. But others criticized him, saying it's all meaningless. See, they're talking about themselves. It's all meaningless. Because of his practices, he will not get any children and has already lost his wealth. Yeah, he's lost his attachment to wealth, material wealth. Yeah, and he won't get any more sons. Well, he actually was destined to get one good son, one transcendental son, Srinivas, right? So he was destined to get that one son, but wasn't, he was wondering why am I feeling inspired to have a kid, It's because it was the Lord's desire. See, he will not get any children. He has already lost his wealth. Okay, when you regain your wealth, and this is what Jesus he even preached this. Jesus said, those who give up lands, father, son, mother, sister, daughter, yeah, and lands and wealth, all for my name's sake, will be rewarded with much more, uh, like sons and daughters and lands and wealth and uh, and that's what happens because now you have spiritual sons. You awaken. That's sons and daughters. You awaken their bhakti, their devotion. Now you give a real new birth. See, that's the spiritual birth. Isn't that a better one? It's a much easier, much better. The other one is so limited and so much energy and time you have to deal with that and waste. Doing these, full absorption in that thing. With the kids and the family and all that stuff, and you have very little time usually for spiritual practices. So yeah, so you gain real wealth. Real wealth is love of Krishna and that intimacy with the Lord, and then you have sons and daughters in the form of disciples. Hearing these comments, the Brahmin smiled silently but did not reveal anything to anyone. Yeah. So he smiled. He wasn't affected by the tomatoes because the Lord protects devotees from harm, from feeling bad about the poison. See, the poison is like a fangs on the snake. When you hear from atheists, it doesn't matter their religion or their gurus or followers. If they're under the putana, not putana, yeah, putana too, but under the spell of Kaliya. Kaliya speaks speculations and poisons the Harikatha. So you speak lies. See, and you speak lies about the devotee, starting with the devotee. You speak lies about the book Bhagavat, and you speak lies about the devotee Bhagavat. Why wouldn't you? See, you speak lies. That's the whole thing. We have in Vaishnavism now these unawakened gurus who naturally speak lies about Bhagavatam. Therefore, is it surprising why they would speak lies about devotees? Like, hey man, never invite that Gohari Das to give a class there because he's a bad person. No, and nobody in his sangha can come into our temples. See, lies. What's our fault for promoting Lord Chaitanya's real Prema Bhakti Sankirtan movement, which we're empowered to do on the order of Prabhupada and the blessing of Krishna? See, that's being captured by Putana See, the false representatives of Vrindavan, that could be the spiritual masters and gurus who don't represent Vrindavan because they don't have the bhav of Vrindavan. You have to have the ecstasy of Vrindavan. You have to chant the holy name in ecstatic devotion like Krishna Das did. Then your whole village, much less your disciples, are automatically blessed. Can you see this simple point, people? Yeah, it's so simple and logical, man. Devotee, Chaitanya Das was a sincere, honest, genuine uh, associate, intimate, spiritual associate of Lord Chaitanya. He had the ecstasy and the symptoms of that. He had the understanding of that. And to go against him, like these atheists did, puts you first of all in the atheist, because if you can't recognize a devotee, you cannot recognize the Lord. That's why devotees are here. They present the Lord to the world. They're vying mediums for that Lord. They're manifestations of Sat. See, Sat, eternal form within their material form, temporary form, is an eternal form of a devotee, intimate devotee, eternal existence. They live forever now. And they want to give that gift to you, to the real you, to awaken the real you. Yeah, Sat, eternal form. They awaken your eternal form as a devotee, a real devotee, an ecstatic devotee, a liberated soul who chants holy names with ecstatic bliss. That kind of person. It's great to be that kind of person. See, and they have the shit, not shit. It's like in crypto, they have Bitcoin and they got shit coins, they call it. Well, in Bhakti, you have the same thing. You can Bhakti say like the best coin, the topmost coin, the most valuable one with the highest market cap, the most people love, and well, it's the topmost asset. That's real. Bhakti is really that. People can understand that. They're just learning to understand that with the Bitcoin, right? But same thing with bhakti. People don't understand it, like they don't understand the Bitcoin, even though it's an important asset. They don't understand bhakti, man, and that's the most important wealth to understand. See, that is the real wealth. Yeah, so the devotees, they polarize because they can take the poison. It doesn't affect them. They can take it because the Lord is protecting them. The Lord is purifying them. The Lord is their shield, the real Lord, the transcendental Lord, not some mundane manifestation of God, not some speculation of who God is, the real Lord. To silence those persons, Lakshmi Priya became pregnant after a few days. From the time her pregnancy, even the critics began to adore them both. See, so the Lord caused them to even have a physical baby. See, and so that impressed their opponents because they thought, well, he'll never have a son. So for them, it's like, hey, man, okay, well, maybe you are protected by God because you had a son. See, people need to see that sometimes, But the esoteric truth is the greater one, actually. But that's esoteric too, because that was blessed by the Lord that he would have Srinivas, one of the greatest preachers in all time. The preacher of Krishna consciousness. He made so many ecstatic devotees, man, very powerful preacher. And it says in this Bhakti Ratnakara, he would defeat the atheists. He would defeat the speculators. Back then, they had more scruples because if you defeat them, they would give up and often, give their disciples over to you too. They don't do that now. There's such big false ego and lack of real intelligence. But he would defeat people on the basis of the understanding under Bhagavatam, under the real Bhagavatam. Because people were reading Bhagavatam back then. They understood, well, they didn't understand it well because only the ecstatic devotees, the ones who worship with prema, really understand Bhagavatam. Nobody else does. That's the same situation now. That's why if you want to understand the Bhagavatam, see, Bhagavatam is God. Bhagavatam is Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said, Bhagavatam is the book incarnation of God. And if you can understand that book, especially Chaitanya Lila book, you understand why, the essence of why the Lord has descended to this world, and therefore you don't come back. But that's the problem. People think in Vaishnavism that the Lord came he descended here to preach Varnashram Dharma or something like that. See, and they have no prema. Yeah? If they have prema, they can understand all the levels automatically. Oh yeah, Varnashram Dharma is a little important for neophytes and beginners, but they got to move on eventually. They don't even believe they need to move on, or they speculate on how to move on. Oh yeah, once I become an ecstatic devotee because I do Varnashram Dharma and regulative devotional service, and then I'm going to become a Raghunuga Bhakti, and they believe in this life, and many of them been practicing Bhakti Yoga for 40 friggin' years, 50 years. Gurus also, 50 years since Prabhupada, maybe 70 years now, some of these devotees. And no prema, no ecstasy, yeah, and they're on that course. Yeah, we're gonna follow that course. We're gonna, chant and do regulative devotional service, and then spontaneous love will automatically awaken. Yet it hasn't awakened anybody out there that I've seen. No gurus. This is my honest ascertainment. I mean, I'm not saying it's not there. Maybe it's somewhere, but I haven't seen it. I didn't see it in the Rayam Raj. I didn't see it in the Radhakund Babajis. Didn't see it in anybody following them like my ex-wife. I didn't see it in ISKCON. None. No one. See? So the result wasn't there, but it's here. So this is the stronger preaching. This is what's going to be. You'll see more people will come. Why? Because of the darn truth, man. It's so solid, man. So essential. So substantial. Why wouldn't they? They have to accept. They better accept. Or we're going to get them. We're going to get that Bhagavatam and beat them with it. On the butt. We'll use it in place of a belt. We'll take the Bhagavatam and just smack their little bottoms, man, until they say, okay. Lalita, it is there where God wants to support it. It's all in his hands. Exactly. Yeah. The truth will set you free, man. Jesus didn't even tell all the truth. He even said, I have more to tell you. But that set a lot of people free. It's still setting them free. They're having spiritual experiences and all that. So in a sense, he won, even though they killed his body, but he won. The women of Chakandi village were very happy to hear the news of her pregnancy and brought her many gifts. When the time of her delivery finally arrived, her husband was very excited. The birth of Srinivas. At an auspicious moment, the moment of the fourth of the 27 stars of the Hindu astronomy, during the Rohini Muhurta, at a time when the day of the full moon in the month of Vishaka, Lakshmi Priya gave birth to a son. There were many good signs at the time of the birth of Srivas. At that time of his birth, Chaitanya Das saw many miraculous visions in his dreams. His ecstasy increased when he saw his son's beautiful golden complexion. He also had a complexion like Lord Chaitanya. But also, you see, the birth of his son, his ecstasy increased, his visions, and all that stuff. When you have a spiritual rebirth, it's like that. You have spiritual experience of Krishna, God being born in you. Now you have a son or twins. You have Radha and Krishna living inside you, and you have to feed them, nourish them. It's just like doing deity worship. When you're doing deity worship, it's the same actually. You go on the altar, and you feed the deity, you offer them foods, and you worship them. You sing songs to them and all that. Well, you don't need that kind of external paraphernalia anymore because now you have that internal birth. It's just like the Lord appears on the altar of your heart, not on the altar externally built. This is the next generation. See, this is the next installment of the of Bhakti Yoga, is to bring it on the Raga level, Raga Nuga. See, the ecstatic level with the birth of the Lord in your heart. Now it's not necessary that you have to go out there to a temple or take a pilgrimage to India and go over there to worship the Lord, because the Lord has been born in you, and all you have to do is pick up your bead bag and Hare Krishna, or sing songs to Krishna and nourish that. That's his food, man. That's Radha's food. And conclusive preaching is the food of Krishna in yourself and others. Everybody is uplifted and purified by talks of Krishna, conclusive talks of Krishna. See, miraculous visions and dreams and all that. The Brahmin couple gladly dedicated their son to the gracious feet of Mahaprabhu. Hearing the news of Srivasa's birth, many respectable men came to the house of the Brahmin to bless the child. Okay, I'm a little bit tired now, so I think I was tired before, but I think I'm pushing it now. Anyway, it was nice to talk about truth for a while and chant. Make some progress in devotional service. Okay, all glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you for coming. And we'll be back tomorrow. Yeah. So we'll see you later.